Hello, friends. Rich Carlson here again, and I welcome you all to another episode on the Microsoft Partner Technical Success Channel. At Microsoft, we value our coveted partners and the innovative solutions that you bring to market. Today, we'll be discussing partner technical resources for GitHub. But firstly, I would like to introduce Kevin Gates, our Principal Cloud Solutions Architect here at Microsoft on the Global Partner Solutions US Tech team. A little bit about Kevin. Kevin is a loving father, husband, designer, photographer, runner, and technology specialist. He really loves all forms of art and design and the technology that provides a beautiful canvas to express it. And on that note, take it away, Kevin.
Thanks, Rich. It is a really exciting time for Microsoft right now. As you probably know, we acquired GitHub in 2018, and since then we've taken it from a tool that's been used around the world for developers to build software, all the way to something that now can support the full software development lifecycle. So that means GitHub Actions to support continuous integration, continuous delivery, an immense focus on security, as well as adding a number of enterprise features. And so GitHub, very much so like Azure DevOps, is really focused on deploying to any cloud and any kind of environment. But of course, it does work really well deploying to Azure. And there is much more innovation in the pipeline that we have coming. And so today, my goal is to provide clarity on our DevOps strategy now that we have Azure DevOps and GitHub, help you understand how GitHub has enterprise features to help accelerate software development and help companies build software better and faster, and then help you develop the technical skills so that you can make that a reality for our mutual customers. With that, let us get started and take a look at some of the partner resources we have available for GitHub. And so you are probably familiar with what DevOps is. And so here on the page, we talk a little bit about what DevOps is and link you over to our DevOps Resource Center. But the analogy I really like to draw is that DevOps is very much like the assembly line and how the assembly line transformed the manufacturing of cars in the early 90s. If you think about it, it is a foundational element to allow that manufacturing to happen in a standardized, automated fashion. And DevOps is very much the same kind of way. And so a lot of our partners don't solely focus on DevOps, but they're also focusing on application innovation. So building cloud native applications, modernizing applications. And if you're working in either of those spaces, you still need that same kind of solid foundation of DevOps so that you can produce and innovate that software in a repeatable, predictable way. And so if we were to think about what Microsoft's DevOps strategy is right now, we have Azure DevOps that has been years and years in the making, building out enterprise features, being able to deploy to any cloud and any kind of environment. But then we also have GitHub, which is the world's largest developer platform. We now have around 65 million active developers using it. But it also brings this culture and this community of contributing code and inner sourcing, sharing knowledge, and reusing a lot of that code. And so these are two different products that really can be extremely powerful when brought together. And that's really our strategy with DevOps. And so over the coming years, we will continue building things into one excellent DevOps experience, and that's going to live inside of GitHub. And so Azure DevOps will continue to evolve, will continue to make investments, it will continue to exist while we execute on our long-term strategy to bring more of these enterprise capabilities into GitHub. And so here we also provide a little bit of guidance on how you should think about GitHub and Azure DevOps. And so some of the tips we provide here is just making sure you have a good understanding of some of the capabilities that GitHub has, like GitHub Actions, the things we're doing around advanced security, and of course, code spaces, which allows you to provide a developer environment right inside of your browser. We also recommend that you move your repository or create a new project inside of GitHub. So have your repo inside of GitHub, regardless of if you're going to use Azure DevOps for some of the remaining pieces like boards and pipelines. But having your repo inside of GitHub allows you to take advantage immediately of things like the code and secret scanning, vulnerability alerts with Dependabot, and code spaces and that concept of inner sourcing. Another thing we recommend is integrating Azure Boards with GitHub. Today, Azure Boards provides a richer set of features for sprint planning, dashboarding, and things like that. And so there are ways of integrating, and we provide a link here, ways of integrating Azure Boards with GitHub. And then you can still use other capabilities of Azure DevOps as you see fit. So if you need things like test plans, or Azure artifacts, there are ways of integrating and using those two products together. And then for a number of our partners that build integrations with Azure DevOps or with the DevOps toolchain or pipeline, there might be an opportunity for you yourself to create a GitHub action. And so we have a number of partners that have built out integrations with GitHub so that they can integrate with their own products and technologies. And then, of course, review the GitHub public roadmap so you can see some of the features that are coming up in the future. We provide a number of deployment options for GitHub, fairly similar to what we were doing with Azure DevOps. There is a cloud-based version that is designed to meet the needs of the masses, and we call that GitHub Enterprise, but there's also a server version that can be run offline in a virtual appliance, and that gives you a lot more flexibility and control in terms of how you deploy and consume that. And then we are also working on GitHub AE, which is designed to be a fully managed service and is really designed to meet the needs of organizations that have stringent security and compliance requirements. And so it's an environment that runs inside of Azure, managed by Microsoft, but gives you that high level of security. And so here we provide some resources to get you up to speed and really see GitHub not just as a source code repository, but really understand all of the enterprise features that GitHub can bring to the table. And so we link to you the latest video from GitHub Universe, which is GitHub's conference that they have annually. And this takes you through a tour of all of the features of GitHub, whether it's pull requests using GitHub Actions and all the other security and compliance features. There's some sessions around GitHub in the enterprise, continuous delivery with Actions, how you can catch vulnerabilities earlier in the software development lifecycle. So that's a good video that really, I think, aligns to what we're seeing in terms of software development today, which is there are so many dependencies that we're pulling into our projects, but we need to know and monitor the health of those dependencies and make sure that there are no vulnerabilities that we are then taking into our own applications. And so GitHub is uniquely positioned to provide that type of alerting, awareness, and even help you remediate those issues right inside of your projects. And then the other thing I'll touch on here is a preview of GitHub Issues. We're continuing to evolve GitHub Issues, bring a lot of the features that you might find in Azure Boards. And so there's a preview video that we have and a beta that you can sign up for to start to see and experience more of what GitHub Issues will look like in the future. There's also other on-demand videos that you can check out, more videos from GitHub Universe. GitHub has a YouTube channel, which is periodically updated with tips and tricks for using GitHub, and then a number of other resources here. As a fellow technologist, one of the best ways I learn, in addition to videos, is getting hands-on. So it's really important to understand the big picture, but then make it practical. And so there are a number of ways that you can get hands-on with GitHub. One of them is the GitHub Learning Lab. And what I love about the Learning Lab is designed to show you and have you walk through what it's like to use GitHub, but you're doing it right inside of GitHub. So it's step-by-step that guides you through taking a project, building it out in GitHub, and you're doing this all in the GitHub user interface with guidance being provided along the way. So there's a number of courses that I would recommend. One is just an introduction to GitHub. There's one for GitHub Actions, continuous delivery, and then creating your own GitHub action using JavaScript. And then we have some other ways of getting hands-on with GitHub. One is by taking our GitHub What the Hack and using that to develop your own skills internally inside your own organization, or even we have partners that take this What the Hack and deliver it to their end customers to help them understand what GitHub is capable of doing, but also reinforce some of those critical DevOps practices. And so the GitHub What the Hack is a lightweight challenge-based hack. So it's really designed not to be step-by-step, but instead say, hey, here's an application, set up an infrastructure as code pipeline, set up continuous integration, build a container image, and then push it to an app service running inside of Azure. And so we give you these high-level challenges with some guidance and link to documentation, and it's up to you and your team to figure it out and to make it a reality. So that tends to be a really good way of learning. And then we have something that's not too different from that, which is the Microsoft Open Hack. So Microsoft Open Hack is virtual and also in person, but it's designed to give you a similar kind of feel of challenge-based hacks. And the Open Hack goes across many different topics, very similar to some of the challenges and other courses you'll find inside of our What the Hack. Lastly, to bring all of this together, we have a certification, which is AZ400 for DevOps. And it has since been updated to include topics around GitHub, but it's a really good way of validating your DevOps expertise. And there are a couple prerequisites that are required for passing AZ400. So if you're looking to do that exam, you'll also have to do the Azure Administrator Associate exam or the Azure Developer Associate exam as a prerequisite. And so we provide links to that as well. And then here we just have some other videos and additional resources that are relevant here. Of course, this is something that we'll continue to update and build out as we find more content and gather more feedback from our partners and other folks. So we appreciate you taking a look at partner resources we have for DevOps. We hope you have a good day.
Thank you, Kevin, very much for the insightful introduction into the partner technical resources we have for GitHub. And I thank all the Microsoft partners out there for viewing this informative and educational episode. I look forward to many more informative technical episodes to come on the Microsoft Partner Technical Success channel. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time.